house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. I've been practicing this a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Big Easy Bets podcast. I'm your host, Logan, and with me in the studio, Nick Von Brick.
Yo.
With us on the ones and twos, Justin the Russian Concussion Mascaro.
What's going on?
This is episode 193. We have finally officially made it. We got the appetizer last week with week 0, but college football week 1 is here. We're going to give you all of our best bets for an absolutely stacked card starting on Thursday, ending on Monday. It's Labor Day weekend, so we don't have to worry about work. All we got to worry about is making money betting college football. Wherever you're listening or watching, hit the subscribe button. Specifically, as I've said before, over on YouTube. We're building up the YouTube page this year, so you can help us out by going over there, hitting the subscribe button, and then checking out the new studio. If you're looking for a sports book, if you're in the market looking for somewhere to place your bets, this is the season where they are going to roll out the premier promo offers, things like that. I think FanDuel's doing a bet, you bet $5, they give you $200 in bonus bets. Go to signupexpert.com. It'll be in the description of this video. Signupexpert.com/BigEasyBets. Pick the sportsbook of your choosing. Read through the promo codes that they're offering. It's all right there in big, bold letters. You can't miss it. All you have to do is click that link, click the sportsbook, sign up. That's it, and you are helping out our podcast along the way. There's money to be made this week. We thought there was money to be made last week, but there wasn't. So we'll get into the recap of week 0. Justin had a good week. We'll dive into all of that. A couple things to touch on before we get there. The Saints preseason is in the books, and Spencer Rattler looked damn good again.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought he looked great. I don't know if he's done enough to be like, oh, okay, we got to play him right away. But definitely, if Carr struggles, I wouldn't mind seeing him get thrown in there.
The best part about this, so we talked about it. Realistically, best case scenario is he doesn't have to play this year.
Yeah.
Because with or without him, we're not winning the Super Bowl this year. It's just not in the cards. And it's on, I mean, who knows? Maybe nothing's impossible, but odds are a Super Bowl's not in the cards this year. You don't have to throw him to the wolves and do it in a sink or swim scenario. You know what I mean? We've seen a lot of people get thrown in there from day one and it not pan out and it kills their confidence or this and that. He seems like a very poised individual. He seems like somebody that's played a shitload of college football, as we know. He doesn't seem to get rattled, and dude, I mean, the arm talent is sick. The throw to St. Brown, who got cut, back right corner of the end zone, was a dime. He had an even better one on the left side that he just, for some reason, put out one arm and didn't want to catch the ball. But it was a perfect throw. Pocket awareness is fantastic. I said it. It's one of those things. I don't like Derek Carr. I've been very candid in saying that. I feel like he came in and kind of did all the wrong things. And you can tell he views himself as an elite quarterback in this league, which he's done nothing to earn that title. It's a self-appointed title. There's arrogance there. So it's the best part about this is going to be that as soon as Derek Carr, if he does, starts playing poorly, people are going to go crazy for Spencer Rattler. So it's going to put heat on the organization. It's going to put heat on Derek Carr, and I think he knows it too. So, yeah. But it's not even just being biased because I want Spencer Rattler to be good, because I'm not the biggest fan of Derek Carr. I'm a Saints fan at the end of the day. I said coming into the season, I'm going back to being 100% all in as a Saints fan. So I'm not rooting for Derek Carr to fail just so we can throw Spencer Rattler in there. I'm rooting for the Saints to win, point blank. But if along the way Derek Carr plays like shit and we got to throw Rattler in there for the Saints to win, then so be it. But I put that on Twitter. Somebody said something about the direction we're going and all that. And so I was like, if you have an aging, overpaid quarterback with no Super Bowl aspirations, it's just blow it up. I mean, am I wrong there?
Yeah, I mean, I think this could be the end
of what?
Everybody.
Everybody? Well, all of us?
Yeah. No, the whole coaching staff. I mean, like, if we don't. I think he's the front runner to get fired.
Dennis Allen is the betting favorite to be the first coach fired this season. I mean, maybe you've got the successor in Clint Kubiak already in the building, and you've got possibly the heir apparent in Spencer Rattler. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Spencer Rattler looked good, and he needed it after a poor performance against the Super Bowl favorite in the 49ers. So it's not like it was against a slouch team or anything like that. He bounced back in a big way. The arm talent's fantastic. They didn't want to put him out there for a game-winning drive. They said, Haener, get out there. Yeah. Derek Carr said, DA, put Haener out there.
No, we're switching it up a little.
And he's like, well, it was, yeah. He's like, well, technically it's Rattler. He's like, the snap count's off. He's got 4 more snaps. You're right, Derek. You're right. Yeah, they didn't want to put those press clippings out there.
I do have something to bitch about.
Go ahead.
About the Superdome.
Go ahead.
Because I was there. I was in the dome. And their new big thing with the renovations is they have the giant bars that are 40 yards long.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
But it was super cool. Like, it's very nice and everything. But there's only like 3 little kiosk things that you can actually pay at.
Okay. So it got backed up?
It was just backed up and it was just unorganized.
Yeah.
So Gail's got to figure that out.
Yeah, give her time. Give her time.
It was the first opening, of the dome. So
yeah. I heard good things, to be honest. I heard people like the renovations.
It was super nice, yeah.
Yeah, I heard in terms of visually it looks fantastic. So yeah. I haven't seen it. I haven't been there yet, but
there's a lot of areas where you can just kind of stand around and still see the field.
Yeah.
Like it's very open.
Really?
It's very nice.
A lot of people are going to that standing room only shit. Atlanta was like the first one to really. Well, technically, I think Dallas was the first one, at least that I remember doing it. But Atlanta quickly went to it, and you can pay for a standing room only ticket. I personally want a seat. Your dad's got a 6 spot up there at the top, and then you got your seats, and then you also have standing room. So it's actually a pretty cool spot for sure. Speaking of that, speaking of the Saints. This, and then I got something over here. You can flip that around. My dad donated this in your honor, so you can flip that. He said it's in your honor. It'll stay in the studio. We got to figure out what we're going to do with it, but go ahead and turn her around. Signed by Bobby Hebert. No. It's a signed Deuce McAllister jersey for everybody listening. Yeah. So he said, because you love Deuce.
Yeah, and matter of fact, I was thinking about it the other day. I think him and Deuce got in some type of feud, didn't they?
Him and Bobby?
Yeah.
Really?
Because Bobby's always saying stupid stuff.
Yeah, he said on the radio the other day talking about orgy or whatever. He's like, who doesn't love an orgy? It's like, all right, Bobby, drink of water.
I told you, this guy, he was a freak. I've heard stories about this guy.
Yeah, no, he's a drunk.
I'm not going to say it, but
yeah, so
hearsay.
I guess, so Steve had the idea first. So my dad threw that in your honor, and then Steve hooked this up. He's had this from his rookie year, it's heavy. Signed Ricky Williams, that he got signed personally by him at the first training camp.
Oh, he's got the picture and everything.
So right after we traded every draft pick for Ricky, they went to the training camp. He said he waited, and he said Ricky was one of the only people signing autographs. So got it signed. And he said he's had it framed for forever. He had to go basically searching to go find it. But yeah, that's sick. I love the green background.
Yeah.
Now we're tasked with figuring out where we're gonna put it. So we'll figure that out. But 2 sick gifts. Saints running back legends. Obviously Deuce more than Ricky, but I like it a lot. It's definitely a cool gift. Steve's hooked it up with, honestly, 2 of the coolest memorabilia gifts that I've ever gotten. That Jordan poster was from Steve as well. Nice. Yeah, from when I was like 2. So that thing's been with me ever since. That's one of the coolest ones. But yeah, so big shout out to them. That's awesome. We got to find a spot for it to go.
The Puma on the jerseys.
Yeah, that's what he mentioned that too. Yeah, because we did our Saints Mount Rushmore. So, So yeah, that's awesome. All right. Only a couple things before we get into the recap. The Connor Stallions doc came out. Did you see it?
No.
So it just came out today. I'm assuming neither one of y'all watched it. Y'all were working. I watched it. And Connor Stallions is a genius. Connor Stallions is a genius. I mean, you know, obviously the story. We lived it in real time. My question, it'd be much easier if you saw the documentary. So, and I understand it just came out today. My question was going to be, does Michigan win without Connor Stallions? Because a lot of people are trying to say that, no, they don't. But
Oh, what if they won the national championship?
yeah, would they win? So really when he started having a legitimate effect, I guess, on Michigan was 3 years ago. And that's when they've beaten Ohio State the last 3 years and obviously went on their run. Because there was lackluster performances. Harbaugh was nearly going to get fired in 2020. And then they found goddamn Connor Stallions. And now Jim Harbaugh is coaching the Chargers.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think they would have been good either way.
Yeah, he's like an evil mastermind. The lengths he went to. I don't know. It's a good documentary. It's worth watching. They definitely cheated. But I don't really care. I don't care. Because it's the old saying, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. They all cheat. The Patriots are notorious cheaters. Belichick, Tom Brady, deflating balls, Spygate, all of it. You got to cheat to get ahead. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. So, I don't know. He stands by that Harbaugh didn't know, and it's a good documentary, though. It is certainly worth watching. You got to feel bad for him a little bit because they kind of cast him aside. Said he hadn't heard from anybody since. They said, get that kid the fuck out of here.
Who is that?
That's a cheater, and we're Michigan men. So,
Where is he at right now?
he's actually, they did it at the end of the documentary. They showed it. He's a defensive coordinator for a high school team. He's got a 3-year ban from coaching in the NCAA. Like his dream's to be a coach.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in the Detroit area. He's a D coordinator. And then, he's got a 3-year ban from the NCAA, but it's an ongoing investigation still. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but there's a lot of fishiness going on there. All right. Do we have anything else going on before we get into the recap from week 0?
Not really.
Okay. So this is the final episode before the NFL is back. So, and it's not lost on me. I feel like we were talking about this. I feel like every year I wait and I wait and I wait, and I'm looking forward to college football coming back. As soon as March Madness ends, I am waiting for football to come back so we can get back to doing the podcast and all of that. So it's not lost on me that, like, we only get a few, and we get a lot, but we only get, realistically in our lifetime, how many more of these do we have? Shit, who knows?
How old are we?
You probably more than me, but
probably
maybe
70 of them.
70?
I think we're getting close.
You're going to 100?
Yeah, I think we're getting to
If
at
you got
least
70, I got like 35.
We're
So
getting 90. We're getting 90, 98.
But if you think about it that way, like, I look forward to this day so much. The second college football is over with, I'm counting the days till it comes back. So you gotta, not to get deep or anything, but like you gotta have something to look forward to in life. If you don't have something to look forward to, what are you doing? You're probably depressed. So I'm lucky enough that I have many different things that I look forward to. I look forward to the start of college football. I look forward to, obviously, bowl season, but like the Super Bowl. March Madness is my favorite sporting event. So I have numerous different things that I look forward to and await throughout the entire year. So I feel like I get caught up in the, like, God, I'm fucking waiting and waiting and waiting. I want it to be here so bad. Then when it's here, you're just there. You're not enjoying it. You're not appreciating the fact that it's back. So we have an absolutely loaded slate of games. They gave us a fucking shit slate with week 0, but they are they're showing you what you're waiting for with this week 1 slate of games. So it's going to be awesome. Enjoy it with the standalone college football weekend. The NFL is back next weekend, and then we're right back in the fire. So let's start with, and for those that really just come here for the picks, the picks will be time-stamped in the description. I have to go through this every single year with the people saying, like, man, I just want to get right to the picks. We appreciate everybody who listens to the whole episode. Y'all are the we really do. We appreciate you guys. The ones that are just here for the picks, it is time-stamped in the description, so please do not message me asking when do we start talking about the picks. We started off week 0, and I say it every year. I don't know if I've won. I don't know if I've made money on week 0 since we started this podcast. I'm not even kidding. And we got victimized again. we got victimized by week 0 again. Started off with Florida State and Georgia Tech. Justin, double winner on this one. Opposite of you, double loser. I was on Florida State, so loser for me there. Justin, what were your thoughts after the first drive for Florida State?
I'll tell you what, I turned the game off with 11 minutes left in the first quarter when I forget the running back for Florida State's name.
Toafili.
But he broke off that run.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you threw in the towel?
yeah, I was like, we're fucked.
He threw in the towel after the first drive.
It was more so I was just so excited and nervous that I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to be so heartbroken this early. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm turning it off. And then
we've been waiting goddamn 6 months. Florida State marches down the field, and Justin says, God damn it, I'm out. Justin threw the towel in.
It was more just nerves, but I turned it back on at second half. And
oh, my God. What the fuck? So he won. He won his bets.
Yeah, I watched the whole fucking
Watch the whole thing. Justin, you should have kept that to yourself. You don't deserve – he doesn't deserve the win. So.
It was a catastrophe.
Yeah, so, okay. I'm texting you because you were on the way over here. I said we're running it down their fucking throat exactly as I thought this game would go. Exactly. They're scheming it up. They're doing sending guys in motion, wide open in the flat. Mike Norvell looked like he was in his bag on the first drive. Toafili breaks like a 30-yard run, and I understand Justin's thought process because it looked like we're about to fuck them up. They hit him with the swinging gate 2-point conversion. We're up 8-0 in goddamn 3 minutes. I was like, we are going to beat the dog shit out of this team. One drive. And then Georgia Tech got the ball. And it was like, oh, we're fucked. I told you that. I said it. I say that every time. But we're fucked. They were moving bodies like it was nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was nothing.
I said, what's this fucking dominant front at?
Yeah. And we broke the game down extensively. And I told you, I said, take these picks with a grain of salt because it is week 0. And this is how it goes. Nobody knows anything yet. People are going to try to window dress it like this is a lock and blah, blah, blah. Nobody knows anything until you really get your eyes on the teams and you can get some data points on who's going to do what. But with that being said, I sat right here and I said the strength of Georgia Tech's offense is going to be their offensive line. That was right. I thought that Florida State's defensive line was going to still be able to have their way and be too much. It's a step up in class. It's supposed to be. I'll preface what I'm about to say with this, that Georgia Tech deserves a lot of credit for what they did. The offensive line, every single member of that offensive line should get a game ball. They were absolutely moving bodies. But Mike Norvell, that was a criminal display of coaching. A criminal display of coaching. The long, drawn-out run plays that they were timing up perfectly. Tip your cap to fucking Tyler Santucci, too, for the D coordinator that came over from Duke, because he turned a Rat Pack crew that was the worst rushing defense out of any of the Power 5 teams last year. They look like the best rushing defense in the ACC. 44, the prototypical creative run-stopping linebacker. Mike Norvell, I got 2 motherfucking words for you. 5 wide, jackass. Make him cover somebody. The middle of the field was wide open the whole game. Mike Norvell told you, without telling you, that he does not trust DJU to throw the ball at all, which is crazy to me. That we're not – just the lack of adjustments, the running it on first, second, and third down. And then Georgia Tech just moving bodies. So it's like you have to give Georgia Tech credit. But the inability to adjust on the fly was fucking sickening. What were your thoughts? We watched
the biggest surprise to me was that Florida State couldn't run the ball.
They did on the first drive.
Yeah, but after that, it was like I was like, what's happening here? And it's like they just come out the huddle. They move. Well, they don't really huddle. They move slow. They check the line. They look back. It's like they move without any type of tempo, and it's like getting later in the game where they were down by, I think, 2 scores. And I was like, why aren't they moving faster?
Yeah. That was another thing, too. Just the Georgia Tech had like a 15-play, like 8-minute drive, and then Florida State had one of their own.
Yeah.
It melted away the second half.
Because I think so. They tied it, or was Florida?
Yeah. Remember, they had DJU converted 2 4th-down conversions. They tie it up 21-all, and then Georgia Tech goes down.
And there were 6 minutes left.
Yeah, because you had the over. And so I was like, okay, well, if they can score with some time, you're going to at least have a chance to get a tie. Like, worst case scenario, they have a game-melting drive and kick a field goal for the win. And that's exactly what they did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard. This is why week 0 is tough, because you have to see the teams. You're going to have a lot of these beat reporters that are hyping up the team, and everybody goes in with high expectations, and we're going to do this and that, and we're going to win the ACC and blah, blah, blah. Florida State fucking sucks. In sidebar, a fantastic result for my under 9.5 win total for Florida State, because of the losable games that I wrote down for Florida State, Georgia Tech was not one of them. So I was wrong. But they're not getting 10 wins. I'll tell you that right now. Not with that fucking dog shit performance. I put too much stock in Mike Norvell's ability to call plays. DJU can't find a fucking open Malik Benson for a touchdown. The opportunities were there for Florida State. Make no mistake. 2 fumbles. They couldn't fall on either one. Somehow they let like the fucking center get in between 5 defensive players, and come up with the fumble. The punt that the guy decided to field and not call a fair catch, and he gets lit the fuck up and somehow doesn't fumble it. DJU missing the throws downfield. It was a whole, it was a litany of things that.
Did you mention the fumble?
Yeah. 2 of them.
Yeah, well, the one Florida State should have recovered.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a touchdown.
Yeah, I just went into a whole thing on that exact.
Yeah, but I can't get that out of my mind.
No, it was really unfortunate start. But it's exactly what happens to us, or me, every motherfucking year. So it happens every week 0. One of these days, I live for the potential of starting out good. That's what keeps me fucking going. Year after year, and I got to wait 365 fucking days, whatever I got to wait, a lot of days for the chance to win my first game. But here we are. You got anything else on that particular game?
I just think the biggest surprise overall was on both sides of the ball that Georgia Tech was able to win in the trenches,
So what?
They weren't supposed to be able to do that.
No. They weren't. And I don't know.
So it's like DJU, you can put a lot of blame on him, but at the end of the day, when we were breaking down, we were expecting Florida State to be able to run the ball. It's like once you can't run it, then that puts too much weight on him.
I agree. Yeah, DJU is exactly who I thought he was. I still think they should have let him throw it a little bit more. Let him fucking throw it. The running game's not working. But yeah, no, I don't think that loss is on DJU. If you went into that game thinking he's going to light it up, I literally wrote it in the breakdown. Like, he has a lot of handicaps, basically. Like, he can do well in a very specific system tailored to him. I thought Mike Norvell was going to be able to do that. But if you think that DJU's the reason they lost that game, you are sadly mistaken, because he's not. The trenches were what was supposed to tell the tale, and that's a large part of what goes into my handicapping games. I was wrong. I thought that Florida State was going to have the edge in the trenches. They did not. Georgia Tech showed up. They answered the bell. Brent Key is an offensive line guy. So it's literally, I have the soundbite in the postgame. Run the ball. Run the fucking ball, Mike. We ran it in the first one, and then, it was really frustrating. It really was. Puts a bad taste in your mouth to start the year. But my question would be, what do you do more? Do you upgrade Georgia Tech more, or do you downgrade Florida State more?
I would say probably like a slight upgrade to Georgia Tech, and then a pretty decent downgrade.
More of a downgrade to Florida State then. Okay. Yeah, I would agree. And that's what I said. That's why you got to see them. You got to get your eyes on these teams, because there's a lot of talking heads that are I said I didn't put any stock into what happened to them last year. That's what they kept saying. This is going to be the revenge tour, and fucking the players are staring at the soon-to-be winning team getting off the bus like they're going to intimidate them or something. Like, oh, shit, that fucking true freshman staring at us getting off the bus. Like, what do you think they're going to do? Go put your fucking pads on, you dumb bitch. Like, it was a rough start. but a 2-0 start for Justin. We then went to the SMU and Nevada game, and it's like, I fucking hate week 0. I hate it. Preston Stone looked like shit. Preston Stone looked like absolute shit. The defense looked like shit at times, but then they kind of settled in and started making plays. But I swear to God, it's like if you're a mobile quarterback in week 0 and hopefully not week 1, you can give these teams fits because they're just not warmed up yet. You're going to see a ton of missed tackles. Mm-hmm. You're going to see fucking Brendan Lewis move the chains on 3rd and goddamn 8 when they're sending pressure, and he just runs it up the gut. Preston Stone looked like shit. His first pass of his season was an interception. He tried to throw multiple interceptions that were getting nearly caught at the line of scrimmage. The 2 quarterback thing, fuck that. Fuck that. Rhett Lashley, it's like, yeah, you want to run 2 quarterbacks. You almost lost to fucking Nevada.
Yeah, I disagree. I didn't think it was a good idea to put Jennings in.
Fucking Preston Stone broke his leg last year and missed a lot of time. Let's let him get back in there and get reacclimated. But in defense of Jennings, he was the only one doing anything to start. Preston Stone played like shit in the beginning of that game.
They struggled to get any type of rhythm. And when in that style of offense, they move with a lot of tempo. It's like if you can't get in any type of a rhythm, then you're screwed. Yeah. And we were screwed from the jump.
Yeah, Kevin Jennings was 4 of 5 for 54 yards. And so, like, the first initial movement they had at all was because of him. Stone threw the pick to start. And then I think at one point he was like 3 of 10. I think at one point he was 3 of 10 with an interception. So he finished 17 of 30, 254 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Great throw at the end there. So they got the job done. They win the game. I wanted them to fucking lose at that point. But just tough. All 4 underdogs covered.
Yeah.
Justin, you started out great. You got greedy. You laid a fucking 40 piece on the island. And Delaware State was goddamn tied with this team in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, 14-14.
And one of Hawaii's touchdowns was a punt return. So, I mean, what were your thoughts there? No way you stayed up and watched that.
Yeah, no way I stayed up and watched it. But, I mean, kind of like what you're saying with the SMU and Nevada game. Like, at that point, I wanted them to lose. I didn't even want them to cover, or even have a shot at covering.
Yeah.
I wanted them to lose.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people taking week 0 victory laps. Be my guest. Take your week 0 victory lap. You don't win the season in week 0. So this is a marathon, not a sprint. Would we have liked to get off to a better start? Of course. Are we going to have a better week 1? I hope. Are we going to have a good season? I fucking hope. So, but I'm going to fucking empty the goddamn clip this year. I'll tell you what. I will go out swinging. But we still got plenty of time. So we have a stacked slate of games to get to, starting on Thursday, ending on Monday. Who's on Thursday?
I have one Thursday.
You have one. Justin, what do you have? Anything for Thursday?
No, nothing on Thursday.
Okay. I have 2 plays for Thursday, both in the same game. I have a maybe. I have something that I wrote a lot down and then I scratched a lot out, and then now I'm considering it again. What do you have? Lead us off.
I'm going Coastal Carolina at Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State's 2.5-point favorites, right?
Yes.
Over-unders 55.5. Jacksonville State was good last year, 9-4. The offense was okay, though. They weren't the strength of the team, 77th in yards per play. They leaned on the run. They had the 3rd-ranked rush offense. They returned 3 starters on the offensive line. The passing offense held them back. They were 115th in the nation, throwing for under 175 passing yards per game. They bring them back to 2 same quarterbacks, Logan Smothers and Zion Webb. They're both battling for the spot. They expect both of them to play in the opener. Coastal Carolina, we kind of talked about them a little bit when we mentioned Grayson McCall at NC State in the preview. Obviously, he's gone. They were still 8-5 last year on what you would consider a down year. The offense wasn't terrible, 42nd ranked offense in yards per play. They're returning the quarterback that played most of the year because McCall was injured, Ethan Vasco. Not as good as a thrower as McCall, but he showed some capability with his legs. They also have a backup from Michigan State that
I guess, might be able to see some time at quarterback defensively is where Coastal struggled a little bit against the run, the 92 ranked rush defense in 2023. But the secondary on this team is pretty good. I think Jacksonville State, the quarterbacks that played last year, they had a turnover problem, throwing a lot of interceptions. Coastal was a stingy defense. I think turnovers play a role here. I'm going to take Coastal and the points on the road.
Getting 2.5.
Yep.
Okay. I was looking at this one for a little while. I know I say that about a lot of games, but I looked at a fucking lot of games. I started looking at this slate of games literally Wednesday. We put the episode out for week 0 on Tuesday. I've been looking since Wednesday. I've looked at a lot. I'm going to have a lot of plays too. We're going to start it off with, and then I'm going to start it off with 2 plays, same game, and then I'm going to ask you about another game. North Dakota State going on to take on Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes. I was very vocal about what I thought of Colorado last season. I didn't think they'd be very good, and they weren't. The over-under win total, I think, was 3.5. They won 4 games. They beat TCU as 20-point dogs week 1. If Jeff Sims could hold on to the fucking football, Nebraska would have beat them week whatever it was 4. It was one of my bigger future plays last season. We missed it by a half game. They ended the season very poorly. Travis Hunter was hurt. Shedeur Sanders was literally running for his entire life. Deion's making waves in the offseason, banning reporters from asking questions. Shedeur Sanders is kind of a clown, talking about everybody who plays them. It's their Super Bowl. It's not. But I think I'm going to take the Buffaloes here. -9.5 and over 59.5. Reason being, I think the addition of LeJontay Wester, and then they've got Will Shepard from Vanderbilt, who went to Mandeville High School, playing wide receiver for him.
He's good.
Never heard of him, but at least never heard of him from Mandeville.
No, he was good at Vanderbilt.
No, I know him from Vanderbilt. I didn't know he went to fucking Mandeville.
Yeah, I didn't either. Until he was lighting it up at Vanderbilt.
Went to Mandeville High. LeJontay Wester is going to be a name that we learn about very quickly. Both transfers. They still have Jimmy Horn. Obviously, Travis Hunter is going to be lined up on the outside as well, playing both ways. The problem with Colorado here, as they brought in a lot of people, a lot of guys, and a lot of talent too, the depth is an issue. It was an issue last year. It's an issue this year. It's a lot of overhaul in the trenches. We'll see if it's got to be better because it was horrific. So you would imagine it's better. This is an FCS team in North Dakota State. Depth's an issue, not typically week 1, unless a lot of people get hurt quick. I don't think it'll happen. So yeah, I'm taking Colorado. North Dakota State's going to be a popular pick because a lot of people want to see Colorado lose. They're one of the best FCS schools. I don't think that their secondary is going to be able to stop Colorado. I don't. And it's going to be much more difficult because Cole Wisniewski is an NFL prospect at safety, one of their best players, if not the best player in the secondary for North Dakota State. He's out. He's not playing. He's probably going to miss up to 6 weeks. Not that that matters. We're only worried about this week. Colorado should be able to put points up on the board in bunches. I've got to see it from the defense. I think that North Dakota State will probably be able to find their way in the end zone a little bit. They have a lot of talent at the skill position, so that's why we're also taking the over 59.5. But yeah, I actually got this at 8.5, but we'll give it out at 9.5 today because it's growing. Colorado -9.5 in the over 59.5. What are your thoughts? You can give your honest opinion.
It's not a game that I really looked into that much. I'm not a big fan of Deion Sanders and his son.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think Shedeur's a little overrated for sure, but I could be wrong because a lot of NFL scouts, I guess, don't think he is. At least in terms of the hype that he got, I think he's a little overrated. But he was literally running for his entire life with how bad the offensive line was. So, but they're gonna have weapons.
Yeah, I think that he's a good player. I don't like either one of them personally,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think I don't care. Just cover. Just go win by 10. But I truly don't think that North Dakota State is going to really be able to stop them. I think they should be able to score a little bit, but they're going to want to put points up on the board. Deion definitely doesn't want to lose to an FCS school to start his season. So if they are capable of running it up on them, I think they will. So, yeah, I'm taking Colorado -9.5 over 59.5. The game I was looking at, which we talked about a little bit here, North Carolina and Minnesota. Did you look at it at all?
Not really.
Well, goddamn it. North Carolina's got Max Johnson at quarterback, but they're also going to be running a two. They're doing the same thing SMU did. They're going to run the first and second string quarterback. They're going to rotate them, and they're going to, I don't know how long they're going to split series. Minnesota's bringing in Max Brosmer from New Hampshire, I think it was. He's like one of the more decorated FCS quarterbacks. He accounted for like 80 touchdowns in his career there. He's supposed to be a much better thrower of the football than Callie McManus was last year, so you can only imagine that's going to improve. What worries me, and part of why I haven't pulled the trigger on this game yet, I'm leaning Minnesota at home getting points. PJ Fleck, there was reports he wanted out. There was reports he wanted and pursued the UCLA job, obviously didn't get it. He's signed through 2029. Seems to be a little turmoil there. Minnesota struggled to stop the run last year. Hampton for North Carolina is one of the best running backs in the country, so that worries me. But I don't think the quarterback play is going to be good for North Carolina, and I don't like the doing two different guys.
Yeah.
So I really do kind of want to take Minnesota here. If you were like, I'd take it, I would take it as well. So we'll shelf it, but the floor is yours if you want to say you'll take Minnesota, and I'll definitely take it.
Staying away from it.
I'll stay away from it too then, I guess. But Colorado will be playing at the same time. If this was like, let's put it this way: if Minnesota kicked off at 9, I'm on the Golden Gophers. All right, we go to Friday. Do y'all have anything for Friday?
I don't.
I have one on Friday.
You do? Okay. Go ahead. How many total do you have?
I have 3 total.
Okay, go ahead with your Friday. I'm on Friday as well, but I'll let you go first.
Okay. My first Friday one's going to be at 6 p.m. It is Oklahoma and Temple.
Oh, God. You're laying the 42.5 with Oklahoma?
I was laying 41.
Oh, it could be. Let's see. Let's see what your best number is. Okay. Yeah, no, I do think Oklahoma's going to be very good. Go ahead. You can go.
So we all know Oklahoma's just joined the SEC this year and gets to start the season off with 4 straight home games to get the team warmed up against some of the SEC opponents. Quarterback Jackson Arnold, who was the backup to Dylan Gabriel last year, will be the starter this year. And if you watched the game against Arizona last year, you saw that he was definitely not scared to throw the ball. Oklahoma's also getting pretty much all their receivers back and the starting running back. And I think they're going to come out and try to really just flex and run it up against Temple, who was one of the worst teams in the country last year. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to
best number
back to 41.
Best number you got is 42 currently.
All right. I'll do 42.
Yeah, I think getting above 42, you're talking 6 touchdowns at 42.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's
a key number.
It's a big-ass fucking spread, though. So I don't know. We'll see. I do think Oklahoma's going to be good. I think Jackson Arnold's good. We talked about him, obviously, in the offseason. But, yeah, I don't know. That's too big of a number for me.
Yeah, I think they'll smash him, but I don't have the balls to lay 42.
Yeah, no, they should. Yeah, they're going to kick the dog shit out of them. But, yeah, it's like all it takes is a fucking scoop and score bullshit, and you're fucked. All right, I am on TCU and Stanford. Night game. We got to work for it. We have a fantasy draft on Friday, too, so it's going to be a late night. Bam's texting me if he should get a Joe Horn jersey right now.
Tell him, yeah.
Okay. Well, he said, well, yeah. Yes, Bam. Get the fucking Joe Horn jersey. TCU and Stanford. I told you, we're sending shots this week against my better judgment, but we're going to have action goddamn every day, maybe even Monday. I don't have anything currently, but we'll get to that. Stanford returns a ton of production, but that's not necessarily a good thing. They have continuity, sure, but this team fucking sucked. They went 0-6 at home last year. All their wins came on the road, so there's no such thing as a home field advantage in wherever they're at, Palo Alto. I think TCU, who's also returning a lot, is going to look closer to what we saw 2 years ago than what we saw last year. Last year, not a good team. Obviously, like I said, lost to Colorado week 1. The year before that, they were in the national championship game. I'm not saying they're going to be that good, but I think we see them get back to that form much more than what we at least saw last year. Sonny Dykes is a good coach. They brought in a lot of talent in the portal, so I'm going to lay the 9 points. Let's see what exactly the number is real quick. But, yeah, 9's the best number we can get. I'm laying the 9 with TCU. I don't think Stanford's good. I don't. I think TCU, I don't expect 2 down years in a row. So TCU -9 to close out the day on Friday. And now we go to a stacked stacked Saturday and a stacked 11 o'clock window. I'll let you go. You got something for 11, obviously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Virginia Tech -13 at Vanderbilt. Over-unders 50.5. I'm taking Virginia Tech. Vanderbilt was 2-10 last year. Their offense struggled, 104 in the nation in yards per play. They're hoping Pavia comes to the SEC and turns this shit around. Jerry Kill's also over there, some type of an analyst or something. They also brought the offensive coordinator from New Mexico State. Virginia Tech, on the other hand, they're a team on the rise. I think they're going to be improved, and they weren't bad last year. They had the 25th ranked defense and yards per play allowed offensively. Virginia Tech likes to run it. The quarterback's decent, I guess. Not a super talented thrower yet, but he did throw for 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and rushed for 818 yards last year. Kyron Drone.
Yeah, Kyron Drone's fucking good.
He completes under 60% of his passes.
He came in late, though.
Yeah, but
he's good.
Not that good of a thrower.
He's not a bad thrower.
If you're completing under 60,
he's protecting the football.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the key. Only 3 interceptions. I'm not sure Vanderbilt's just going to turn it around overnight. And in fact, I doubt they do. They had the 127th ranked defense in yards per play allowed. I don't think that's anywhere good enough to keep this game close. So I'm going to lay 13 with Virginia Tech.
Okay. What about Penn State, West Virginia? You on it?
No.
I'm not on it currently. I want to take West Virginia at home.
Yeah, I did too.
It's come down though.
But it's like, it's 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's a lot of talk with the Big Ten now with Oregon and Ohio State, and then USC's in there not really being talked about to win the conference. But I feel like Penn State's kind of being slept on in the conversation a little bit. So that's why I ended up staying away from it.
Yeah, and obviously, I like Penn State. I was high on Drew Aller and then quickly was not as high on Drew Aller whenever we realized he can't throw. You'd imagine he's going to have a better year this year than last year. They still have the running backs. They've got skill position players. Typically always have a defense. But to start your season on the road in Morgantown, Garrett Green's a good quarterback. They've kind of been turning the coach has been turning West Virginia in the right direction for a couple years now. So it's a tough game to start. And it is. It's a lot of points. It has come down. But yeah, I guess I'll stay away for now. All right, let's see. Do you have anything for the 11 o'clock window, Justin?
Yeah, my last 2 games are in 11 o'clock.
Okay. What are they? Go ahead. Well, one's your lock, right?
Yeah, one is my lock.
And then we're doing a money line parlay.
Yep.
Is that one of the 11s as well, or is that separate?
No, that'll be an evening one.
That's separate. Okay. Okay, go ahead with your 11 o'clock.
All right. So my first 11 o'clock one, it's going to be the Clemson and Georgia game. Are any of y'all on this one?
No, but I have looked at this, and I want to be on it, but at the number it's currently at, I'm not.
Okay. So this is going to be Carson Beck's second full year as the starter for the Bulldogs, and they just added Etienne from Florida, who is going into his junior year. Do we know if he's going to play or not? I can't find
Is he injured?
You got the DUI.
They got a lot of injuries.
What about Ollie Gordon?
He's playing as far as I know.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. That's why
I couldn't just find a clear answer if he was
Did they say might not play?
They never said that he wasn't going to play, but reporters keep asking him if he is, and he's just like, I don't talk about that.
So a day ago they said Robinson the second is likely out. No word on ETN, and that's why this number's come down a little bit because there is some uncertainty with Georgia. This was at one point above a touchdown, and I wanted to take Clemson. Roderick Robinson got hurt, and there's no word on Trevor Etienne as close as a day ago. It says Kirby Smart isn't ready to say whether Trevor Etienne will be available to play in Saturday's opener. They probably won't have at least one of their top running backs. So they won't have one, and then ETN's who knows. Yeah. So which way are you leaning?
I'm taking Georgia. I'm going Georgia minus 13.
Okay.
I think they're just going to get – I think Clemson's going to get out-coached in here. They're returning 16 starters from last year's 13-1 team. And then, I'm just not a big fan of Cade Klubnik. I think the Tigers are going to get out-coached here.
Okay. I leaned – this was at like 14 and a half. At 14 and a half, I would have taken Clemson if that was still there at the time of recording currently, but it's not. Clemson's defense is going to be fantastic. The defensive line is going to be very good again. Question marks at the skill position. Can they finally get some guys? I think they have. Klubnik is running it back with the same OC. I'm blanking on his name. It's one of those, he hasn't shown it yet. It's been quite a while. Do we see him kind of step up and show? But it is a lot of points too. So I don't think Dabo's a bad coach by any means. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to keep a close eye on that one, but I am not currently on it. All right. 2:30, Miami, Florida. Are you on it? Are you on it, Justin? Oh, wait, you have another 11. Do your other 11 real quick.
My other 11 is my lock.
Okay. Miami and Florida. The line is currently at 2.5. Nick and I talked about this, and we said the line clearly says, when it was at 3 at least, it was clearly telling you to take Florida. The right side was Florida, at least what we deemed as what probably would be the sharp side. But I'm going to take Miami. I am going to lay the 2.5 with Miami on the road. This is talented rosters on both sides. Questionable coaching on both sides. We know what you get with Billy Napier, and of course you know what you get with Mario Cristobal, Ash Georgia Tech. Inept coaching. Under 3 points, I'm going to take Miami, lay the points here, and then you would have to expect that of any game week 1, this is probably going to be the sloppiest. I think on just sheer talent alone, Miami will prevail. So I'm going to lay 2.5 points with the Hurricanes here. No thoughts on it?
I stayed away. I could go either way with this one,
Yeah. No,
I think Miami has the more talented team. But it's a tough place. A lot of new faces, a tough place to go play for your first game. I wouldn't sleep on Mertz. I mean, he played a lot better last year than his years at Wisconsin for sure. So
yeah, he did.
I don't know. This is definitely going to be like my number 1 game to watch.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones, but yeah, no, this is we'll see. I like I said, I think week 1, I think just on having the superior talent under a field goal, I think Miami will get the job done. But it's going to be a clusterfuck for sure. 3 p.m. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Boise State minus 13 against Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern had the 86th ranked rushing defense. They return a ton of production. But Ashton Genty's one of the best running backs in the country, and somehow Boise State managed to retain him. They're going with Maddox at quarterback, Madsen, who beat out the USC transfer that was expected by everybody to get the starting job. So he showed flashes last year. You would have to imagine that he's playing much better and was able to take the job from this highly touted transfer portal guy. I think the defense will be better. I think Boise State's going to have guys that can at the skill position, but Ashton Genty's a very, very good running back. I think Georgia Southern's going to have a tough time stopping him. I'm taking the Blue Broncos, laying 13. What's your next one?
It's a 6:00 game.
Okay. You can go ahead with it.
UNLV at Houston. Houston's 2.5-point favorites. Over under is 54.5. The big problem for UNLV is they got to replace Jaden Mayava, transferred to USC. I guess he's a backup to Miller Moss.
Did he? Mayava left UNLV?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to be because
he went to USC.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Miller Moss is the starter.
In comes 2 FCS transfers to try to fill that role. Malik Williams from Campbell, the Campbell Camels. Looked okay in the spring, and then they got the better of the 2 guy come in after spring and the fall camp. Matthew Saluka from Holy Cross. Holy Cross had one of the best FCF offenses in that little league they do. The wide receiver and tight end group is good, led by wide receiver Ricky Wright. Last year he had 88 receptions, 1,483 yards, and 8 receiving touchdowns. The thing that makes me optimistic about UNLV is that the O-line, they return 4 of their 5 starters. Defensively, they're expected to be a little bit better, especially in the secondary. Houston, this was a team, their defense was bad last year. They tried to hit the transfer portal in their first year under Willie Fritz to address these issues on offense. The bright spot is they have a quarterback with a lot of experience, Donovan Smith, but he's like an up-and-down type of player. He'll light it up one game, and then he'll throw multiple interceptions in the next. He threw for 22 touchdowns, ran for 6, but I mentioned the interceptions, 13 interceptions a year ago. The big thing for Houston is they have to replace 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen from last year. I think Houston and Willie Fritz are a year or 2 away from turning this thing around, so I'm going to take UNLV and the points, UNLV plus 2.5.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Willie Fritz is a good coach, but I don't see him stepping in and having a ton of success right off the bat. All right, my next one is 6:30. We're going big game hunting. So Notre Dame, Texas A&M. We're going to take the under 46.5. Riley Leonard, quarterback at Notre Dame. Mike Elko, head coach at Texas A&M. If you had to give the advantage either way, who would you give it to? Riley Leonard knowing Mike Elko's schemes, or Mike Elko knowing Riley Leonard's strengths and weaknesses?
Oh, that's tough.
It is tough.
This is another one I decided to stay away from. It's equally as important of a game as we mentioned with Florida and Miami, but I don't know. I don't know who I'd give the advantage to.
You got to have an opinion.
I mean, maybe A&M.
I'd lean Elko.
Yeah.
I think Elko has a slight advantage.
They're the home team, correct?
Yeah, A&M's at home. No, but I'm talking just from the standpoint of Riley Leonard, Mike Elko, who between them has an advantage. Leonard knowing Mike Elko's schemes, or Mike Elko knowing Riley Leonard's strengths and weaknesses?
Mike Elko.
I would lean Mike Elko. Notre Dame, the biggest problem here is that their left tackle got hurt. So they had to replace Joe Alt, one of the top offensive linemen taken in the NFL draft. He's hurt. They're having issues on the line, so that worries me. I don't think that A&M is good enough to be 3-point favorites over Notre Dame. I might be higher on Notre Dame than some people, but I understand it's at home. It's a tough place to play. The 12th man, blah, 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 the weird cheerleaders, all that. We're going to go under 46.5. I think Notre Dame's defense is going to be good. Texas A&M's defense is obviously typically good. And with the question marks on the offensive line, I couldn't pull the trigger on Notre Dame getting 3 points. So we will go under 46.5. I do think that Notre Dame is still going to grind it out, and they're going to run the football, and they're going to play Marcus Freeman's style of play. Riley Leonard's also a guy that's going to move the chains with his legs as well. They're supposed to have better skill position players than in years past, substantially better. That's the word around town. But it is still Notre Dame, so we'll see. I'm going under 46.5. How many more total do you have?
I have my lock.
Just your lock?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a couple more. Night game, 9:30. Looking at New Mexico versus Arizona. Arizona came into the season with a ranking next to their name. Noah Fafita's back. So they lost their coach. Jed Fish left for Washington. Brent Brennan came in, and he managed to hold on to Fafita and McMillan, one of the better quarterback-wide receiver combos in the country last year. So the Brent Brennan era will begin. New Mexico, we saw them. They're one of the few teams that we have a data point on, and the main one is that their defense fucking sucks. They played last week for week 0. If not for some critical drops, they would have pulled off the upset, a double-digit upset against Montana State, an FCS school. But they didn't. So, as expected, their defense is horrific. They gave up 567 yards of offense, including 362 rushing yards to an FCS team, as mentioned. But Devin Dampier did not look that bad. They were running the wing tee that was giving people problems. He's mobile. I didn't think he played that bad at all. So I'm going to take the over 57.5. Let me get the exact number. Arizona should toss a big number up on the board. And I think that Dampier and New Mexico may be able to put a little bit of points up on the board themselves. So we'll go 58. 58's the number. That's the best available currently. So over 58. Arizona's going to put points up on the board. I think New Mexico can kind of finagle their way into the end zone a couple times.
Yeah, I think the big takeaways from week 0, which New Mexico played in against Montana State, was that the underdogs were just better teams than what was expected.
Yeah.
Except for New Mexico's defense.
It was horrible.
They are the worst.
Yes. So, yeah, no, I think...
Like, even against the pass, which the Montana State's not a big-time passing team, it's like he threw it for the most attempts of his career, the quarterback for Montana State.
Yeah, no, I mean, Arizona's a 31.5-point favorite in this game. I thought about laying the number.
So I think, Arizona's going to smash them. I think they'll score a lot of points.
Yeah, and we just need I think Dampier's good enough. I like.
Yeah, no, he definitely was exciting.
Yeah, so I think he can find his way to the end zone a couple times, just maybe once or twice, and we should do the trick. All right, let's talk USC LSU. You're not on it?
No.
Or is it your lock?
No.
Okay. USC and LSU Sunday standalone game in Vegas. This number has come down. LSU's 4.5-point favorites. The total sits at 63.5. Let's see what the I'm seeing. Okay, it's growing. 64 is the best available number currently. How do you feel? Looks like some sharp money came in on the Trojans.
Yeah, I'm not overly worried about it, but you're talking about the total here?
Oh no, I'm just talking just the game in general.
Yeah, if I had a bet, it would be the over, but it kind of like one of those things that make too much sense. Maybe the defense for LSU looked bad in the spring. I think the bigger issue of the two is not going to be the secondary. It's going to be in the trenches. It's going to be filling the defensive tackles that left.
Yeah, we swung and miss on quite a few D linemen in the portal.
I'm expecting that the secondary is going to be better now that they've gotten through fall camp. They're not going to be as bad as last year. But the good thing is I think LSU is going to have some edge rushing potential here.
Yeah.
The missing piece to me is in the middle of the defensive line. So.
Yeah, I mean, Harold Perkins in the 7 is going to be fantastic. I think, Penn got the 18. So the linebacking core is going to be looking sharp at least. I want to take the over. This is a blind over basically. But then I'm starting to question, starting to go okay, because it's grown. It was like 62.5. It's up to 64.5. I still don't think that LSU's defense is going to be that great. I think USC will be able to put some points up on the board, obviously. This is a high number. I'm going to do it. Give me the over. I'll take the over. I think Garrett Nussmeier's good. You think he's better than I do, which doesn't mean I think he's bad, but USC's going to have skill position guys. What worries me is if Brian Kelly tries to play Brian Kelly football, like prototypical run the ball, play, I would say good defense, but it's going to be bad defense, but like try to control the clock. It sounds like he's prepared to play a lot of close games this year and try to coach his way to victory by managing the clock and whatever. So that's a little worrisome, at least for an over in this spot. Everybody and their grandmother's going to be on the over. But these are typically the spots where I normally see more unders than overs. But this is that spot where I like try to get cute, take the under, and they score 50 points apiece. So I'll go over 64 in USC LSU on Sunday. Are you on a Monday?
No.
All you have is your lock, right?
Yeah. No. Are we doing the money line after?
We can do it before. You want to do it before?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Let me just make sure I'm done because I had a lot of fucking games. Yeah, so as we talked about, we are going to do a 4-team money line parlay. Each leg will be contributed by everybody in this room, and then Joseph, who called in and left a voicemail for his play. So we will get to that right now. We'll let Joseph lead the way with his money line play. So let's see.
LSU minus 190 over USC. USC, they got their new defensive coordinator. If they're going to improve this year, it won't be in this one. LSU's high-powered offense. I don't see that happening. No way the Tigers lose their third season opener in a row. Give me the hometown Bayou Bengals minus 190.
All right, I don't love that.
I think it would be our freaking 5th in a row.
Yeah.
What was it?
It's LSU. Oh, that's right. Justin doesn't have headphones on. It's LSU minus 190. That's his. Okay. So
FanDuel's minus 184, which I recommend we have to pick one of the same sports.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you can't parlay across books.
Okay, I agree with that. All right, so he's on LSU.
Damn.
Was that going to be yours?
I wanted it to be.
Really?
That was my backup one.
Okay, well, mine is Oklahoma State.
Oh, fuck.
That was
my first.
another one I was looking at.
Okay, I'm glad I went first because I didn't have a backup. Yeah, mine's Oklahoma State. I think minus 370. Let me get you the exact. Let's get the exact FanDuel number. Let's see. So Joseph's taking LSU. I'd be able to see what I was taking if my phone would work. God damn it. It's 1 o'clock. Can you pull it up? I don't know why my phone just decided it's not going to work anymore.
Minus, let's see what FanDuel is.
357 is what I had.
On FanDuel?
Yeah, that was this morning.
Minus 375 on FanDuel.
Okay. All right, so what is yours? Joseph's LSU. I'm Oklahoma State.
Shit.
I didn't
All
want
right,
to be
I'm just going to go with the one I put down, but.
Well, we got to get to the
Frickin-
window here.
All right, where are we at? 4 o'clock. We're going to North Texas at South Alabama.
Christ.
This line's crashing down. All right, and we're taking the favorite, but I'm taking South Alabama. North Texas, the defense still concerns me. They ranked 125 in the nation in yards per play allowed. I'm not sure they did enough in the transfer portal to really turn around. The top guy they got from Ole Miss got injured. He's out for the year. They did get Chandler Morris from TCU. So that's a big get for a school like this. Quarterback, that's what we have to worry about is if Morris lights us up here. But South Alabama, kind of in the same position that North Texas is in. They kind of have to replace some players. The quarterback looked okay in the bowl game. Gio Lopez, he didn't throw for a ton of yards, but he completed 14 out of 19 passes, 3 touchdowns. He rushed for 88 yards and another touchdown. That was against Eastern Michigan, whose defense is horrific, like North Texas. They lose some production on defense, but I think they did a much better job filling those gaps than North Texas did. So I'm gonna take South Alabama to win the game. I'm trying to find out what the number is here.
Minus 210.
Okay, that's fine.
Minus 210. Justin, what is yours?
Minus 205.
I see minus 210. I'm on FanDuel right now.
Okay, bet stamp is behind.
Yeah, I'm putting it in to get the exact odds of what the parlay will be. Go ahead, Justin.
I'm going back to Friday, and mine is going to be TCU minus 326.
Okay. No, I can get you 315. TCU minus 315. So we've got LSU minus 184, Oklahoma State minus 375, South Alabama minus 210, and TCU minus 315. It comes out to a plus 280 4-leg parlay. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
You'd like it to be more?
No, less.
No, I'm saying, what do you mean, less?
Yeah, I don't like laying a.
No, I'm talking about the odds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You'd like the odds to be less?
I wanted to go with Virginia Tech, but it was too much.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is going to cash. Yours is the most questionable. Well, no, LSU's questionable.
No, this one's more questionable.
All right, that is our 4-leg money line parlay plus 280. All right, we are going to get to the locks portion of the episode, again, will be timestamped below. The Locks, as well as this entire episode, is sponsored by BetStamp. If you are in the market for a brand new sportsbook, head on over to signupexpert.com/BigEasyBets. Click the link, click the sportsbook, take advantage of the promo offers, bet this money line parlay, bet whatever you want. You're helping out our podcast along the way. This is our best bets, our locks of the week. There is no such thing as an actual lock.
It's a lock, Kramer. You've had this thing under control for almost 3 years now. But it's a lock.
They need that fucking juice. They need that next bet. They need, come on. Yes! When they win, they go fucking crazy.
You're a bad motherfucker. Go in that shower, grab your fucking nuts, and tell the world somebody's sniffing my fucking nutsack today. Because I ain't got time to fuck around no more.
My lock of the week is Virginia Tech, -13. So we're starting the season off the same way we pretty much went the entire last year. Nick's on it. It's my lock of the week. Vanderbilt's coming off an abysmal 2-10 season, 0-8 in conference play. They're going to have a lot of new faces that are familiar to us. Much like Nick said, Diego Pavia is going to be an SEC quarterback. I know him. I love him. He ain't an SEC quarterback. He was a hit-or-miss guy in Conference USA. Jerry Kill, as Nick mentioned, also on the staff as a consultant. Don't care. Doesn't matter. I don't think any of that matters whatsoever. Pavia is a gamer, sure. But like I said, hit or miss in a much subpar competition. First game going against a team that I think is going to make some serious noise. Kyron Drones, I'm higher on him than Nick is, clearly, but 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, rushed for 863 yards and 10 touchdowns, took care of the ball. They returned their leading rusher Bashal Tootin, their top 2 receivers, Daquan Felton and Jalen Lane. They're also getting Ollie Jennings back, who was a very highly touted skill position player at wide receiver. He hurt his ankle week 2, missed the entire season. They're getting 4 of last year's top 5 leading tacklers. I think Vanderbilt is drastically outmatched. Virginia Tech returns the entire offensive line. This is a team with a lot of high expectations this year. I'm taking Virginia Tech -13 as my lock of the week. I just don't see it. I don't see them hanging in this game. I think this is a good opportunity for Virginia Tech to get this season off to a good start. If Pavia comes in and scrambles his way to a cover here, I'm going to be fucking pissed, but I just don't see it happening. So give me Virginia Tech -13 is my lock of the week.
I agree.
What is your lock?
Eastern Michigan at UMass. UMass is a 1.5-point favorite. Over under is 49.5. Both of these teams were pretty bad in 2023. Eastern Michigan ranked 129th in yards per play. The defense ranked 83rd in yards per play allowed. Massachusetts, on the other hand, offense was, I guess, decent, slightly above the middle of the pack, 60th in yards per play. Their defense ranked dead last, 133rd. UMass's offense should be at least a little bit improved here from a year ago. I think there's a good chance they get the rushing attack going, and quite frankly, I don't expect there to be much resistance in the air. I'm taking the Minutemen -1.5. The British are coming, motherfucker.
Justin, what is your lock of the week?
My lock of the week is going to be Iowa under against Illinois State. It's going to be under 40.5. Iowa hired Tim Lester as their offensive coordinator, who's coming from Western Michigan. And before that, he was on the Packers coaching staff. He's supposed to be the guy that kind of brings some life to this Iowa offense. But head coach Kirk Ferentz is going to be serving a 1-game suspension for some recruiting violations. Do I think the new offensive coordinator is going to come and try to test out the new offense and risk losing to an FCS school while his boss isn't there? I don't think so. They're going to do what they always do and not let the opponent score and probably just win this game 24-3. So I'm going to take the under.
Okay. All righty, there you go. That is our best bets of the week, our locks of the week, if you will. But as a disclaimer, I am obligated to tell you that there is no such thing as a lock, except Virginia Tech -13. No such thing as a lock bet in college football. That is all I've got. That is all my plays. Do you have anything to say? We're going to recap, obviously, but
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. All right, to recap, Thursday, I'm taking Colorado -9.5 and the over 59.5. Colorado -9.5, over 59.5. New Mexico, Arizona, over 58. USC, LSU, over 64. Miami, -2.5. TCU minus 9.5. I'm completely out of order. Boise State minus 13. Notre Dame, Texas A&M under 46.5. And my lock of the week is going to be the Virginia Tech Hokies minus 13.
I'm taking Coastal Carolina plus 2.5. Virginia Tech minus 13. UMass minus 1.5. That's my big easy bet. UNLV plus 2.5. And I think that's it. That was 4, yeah.
Yep. All right, Justin, recap yours for us.
All right, I got Oklahoma on Friday, minus 42. And then Saturday morning, I got Georgia minus 13. And my lock of the week is going to be Iowa and Illinois State under 40.5.
Okay. And to recap our moneyline parlay again, this is the first time we're doing this. We've never done this before. Joseph is going to be in the mix with this as well. So LSU minus 184 on the money line, Oklahoma State minus 375 on the money line, South Alabama minus 210, and TCU minus 315. It comes out to a 4-leg plus 280 moneyline parlay on FanDuel. Was the sportsbook we chose to keep it consistent. You can go to FanDuel right now if you go through the signupexpert.com/BigEasyBets link and take advantage of the promo offers. With the season rolling around, NFL about to start, they're going to roll out their best offers of the season. So take advantage of those, and you can help out the podcast along the way. That is episode 193 in the books. Do you have anything to say before we go?
I feel good.
Justin?
Nope, good luck.
I feel good, too. I'm sending shots this week.
I'm going to live bet the shit out of all these games.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel good. I think everybody knows that if you lose on week 0, it doesn't fucking count. So it doesn't matter. It's not anything we have to worry about at all. Week 1 is here. This is what we've been waiting for months and months and months. Enjoy it. Saturday's going to roll around. It's Labor Day weekend. We don't have to worry about work. Work is nowhere near on the horizon. Games from Thursday to Monday. Kick back. Enjoy it. We're going to make some money. I fucking hope. Y'all have a good one. Who dat?
The house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. I've been practicing this. A little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.